Hello everyone. Today we're going to look at a simple demo of how to access AWS DynamoDB contents using the Java SDK version 2. So for this demo, I've created a DynamoDB table called customers, and I've inserted a couple of sample rows into it. The first row has customer ID called Lisa1, and then it has an attribute called location. And in this example, the location is set to UK. And the second row has the customer ID as John1, and then the location is set to US. Now let's go and then figure out how do we access this particular contents using Java SDK. So here I've created a simple project. It's a plain simple. There is really nothing in this yet. You can see there is a class called DynamoDB test in src main Java. It's a Maven-based project, and then the POM file is also pretty straightforward. There's really nothing in here. So let's actually go and then figure out how do we find out what the Maven file is, Maven dependency is. Let's pull it in and then start coding. So I'm going to go to my browser. I'm going to go to Google, and then I will type it for AWS SDK v2 DynamoDB Maven. I'm going to search for that. I got a bunch of results here, so I'm going to pick and choose this one. So I'm taken to Maven repository. So I'm going to pick the very first one here, 22074, which has been released on May 26, 2023. Let's just go there. Let me actually grab this one. And what I'll do is I'll copy paste it into the dependency section here. So I'm just going to format this real quick, and I'm going to save it. And now that I've saved it, I actually have imported the DynamoDB AWS SDK into my project. So let's actually go on and start coding it up here. So given that this is a very simple demo, we're not going to go really fancy. We're going to just do a public static void main here, and then we're going to write our code in there. So I'm going to do psvm, do that. So now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go on and set up which region this thing is actually available in. My database is actually available in USES2. So I'm going to use the region class in the AWS SDK, and I'm going to set the region to US East 2. Now the next thing is we need to go and then be able to create a DynamoDB client. So there are in the V2 version, it's slightly different from what it was in the V1 version. So let's actually look at how does this thing work in the V2 version of AWS SDK. So I'm going to do DynamoDB client, and the way to do this thing is there is a builder that's actually available for building the client, typical builder pattern. So I'm going to do DynamoDB client.builder, and then I'm going to start. I'm going to set the region. The region is a region here for me, and then the credentials for me. I'm actually just getting the credentials from a specific location called a specific profile called credential demo. So I'm going to set the credentials profile credentials provider as demo, and then I'm going to build a client. So I have the client now, which is cool. Let's actually do a system.println of client and then see what do you see there. Right? So let's just go and then do that. Let me actually run this particular class, and then you can see it actually pulled up a default DynamoDB client down here. So so let me just pull this thing up a little bit here. So that's good. So the client is actually able to connect now. So let's actually go on and get the items from the customers table that we saw earlier. So to be able to get a single item, there is a thing called get item request. So we're going to use get item request. So request is equal to get item request builder, and again this follows the same builder pattern as well. So we're going to go on and build it. So we're going to set the table name For this one, the table name is customers. Let's actually double check. What do we have here? We have customers as the table name. That's good. So customers. And then we're going to set the key. So what is the key that we have? We have John 1 and Lisa 1. So I'm going to use a key, and then you can see the attribute is a map. It's a map of string and attribute values. So I'm going to use the Java util map, and then I'm going to use that to kind of set up the values here. So in the customers table, we have the ID as the key, and then the value is attribute value. So you can actually use the attribute value helper functions down here. So I'm going to do attribute value from string because my customer ID is a string. So I'm going to do John 1. And then now that I've gotten my attribute value and then the table name set, I'm going to build the request here. So I'm going to just delete this from there. So I got the table name set up, and then I have the key set up, and I've just built it. So now that I have the request set up, I'm going to go and then use the client to go and then request this one. So let me do client dot get item, and then I'm going to do a request. So the response for this one is get item response. So I'm going to do a response there. And then once I've gotten the response here, I'm going to do a system.println, and then item is plus response. So let's actually run this one and then see what do we get. So I'm going to click on this button. I'm actually trying out VS Code instead of IntelliJ IDEA just for this particular demo purposes. Let's see how it goes. So yeah, you can see they actually went and obtained the item for John 1 primary key, and then you can also see that the location is set to US. I'm going to clear this thing just for a second, and then I'm going to rerun this one here. So ignore the SLF4J bindings here, just don't worry about that. But you can see this is the row that's actually important for us. So that actually obtains the value for John 1. Let's actually change this to Lisa 1 and see what are we going to get. Right, so I'm going to do Lisa 1 there. So, and then I'm going to rerun that. And then you can see, yes, Lisa 1 came back as well. And then, the location is UK. So it is as simple as this to be able to go and then set up your DynamoDB client and then be able to go and then request items from your DynamoDB table. I'm going to stop this tutorial here. I'm going to create another one for being able to go and then put some items as well. Thank you for watching this video. Have a nice day.